I was standing outside the classroom, heart racing, feeling my accent thick on my tongue. For a split second, I wondered if I was qualified enough to teach French, a language that wasn't even my first language. But that moment taught me something powerful. Our differences aren't obstacles to overcome. They are advantages waiting to be embraced. And if you've been waiting for January 2026 to make your move because you think you're not ready enough, qualified enough, or perfect enough, this message is for you. Welcome to your Breaking Through community, where we share real stories, provide empowering tools for immigrants, immigrant professionals, and purpose-driven individuals to turn their unique stories into unstoppable advantages. I am Marian Amwa, your author and coach here at Breaking Through. And today I want to share how the same fears that almost stopped me from walking into that classroom can actually become your greatest strength, especially in these crucial last 91 days of 2025. Picture this. I am about to teach my very first French class as a graduate teaching assistant. Yes, and yes, I had studied French, but it wasn't my first language. I could feel every syllable of my accent, and doubt was creeping in fast. I was uncomfortable. How would these students see me? Would they question my qualifications? Would they respect me for what I offer? Here's what I realized standing there. I had a choice. I had a choice to lean into my discomfort. I could apologize for being different, or I could own it completely. And I chose to lean in. I decided to lead with energy, authenticity, and gratitude for the opportunity. I didn't try to hide my accent or pretend to be someone else. I embraced exactly who I was. By the end of the first month, I knew each student by name. They didn't just tolerate my teaching style, they loved it. They connected with the warmth I brought, the perspective I offered. Actually, one student named Richard became a lifelong friend. But here's the real lesson. The very thing I was afraid would disqualify me became what made me memorable and effective. The fear that's stopping you right now, I see the same pattern everywhere, especially in our professional lives. We tell ourselves, I will make that career move when my English is perfect. I'll apply for that position when I have more experience. I will start that project when I feel more confident. I will wait until January when I can start afresh. I can start fresh. Sound familiar? That voice in your head. In fact, some people call it the inner critic. That voice in your head. That one that said, I wasn't qualified to teach French, is the same voice telling you to wait. But what if that voice is wrong? What if the thing you think qualifies you is actually your secret weapon? These 91 days are your moments. Think about this. In 3 short months, I went from doubting my ability to teach to having students who embraced my style and formed lasting connections. In fact, it was even before 3 months. 3 months is enough time to transform how you show up at work, to build the confidence to speak up in meetings, to apply for that role you've been considering, to start the side project that's been calling your name. That question isn't whether you are ready. The question isn't whether you are ready. The question is, what would you build with your unique gifts in the next 91 days? My friend Efia said, what you have in your hands is enough to start. So let's now think about an approach. the finish, start, plan approach. Let me share with you how to channel that same energy. That energy of lean into your difference energy. It's called lean into your difference energy across these final 3 months. This is my approach for making these 91 days count. Finish. Complete what you have started. Complete what you've started while staying true to yourself. What needs to be wrapped up before December 31st? That project you've been perfecting? A relationship conversation you've been avoiding? Financial loose ends like that salary negotiation? Or simply closing a chapter you've been carrying too long? Here's the key. Finish these things as your authentic self. Stop apologizing for your perspective. Stop downplaying your unique approach. Just like I couldn't hide my accent in that classroom, you can't hide who you are. Finish strong by showing up fully. Now start. Begin now. Don't wait for the perfect. I always say progress over perfection. What can you begin right now that will set you up for 2026? Is it building deeper connections with colleagues and mentors? Updating your professional story? Reaching out to someone else, some other people in your field? Starting that side project or skill development? Or even mentoring someone who needs your help? Remember, I didn't wait for my French to be perfect. In fact, it's still not perfect. Or my accent to be gone. Actually, I still have my accent. Improved, yeah. I started with what I have. I started at that time with what I had. You can too. Now let's get to the third of planning. Plan, structure your long-term success. So think, finish, start, plan. What needs intentional planning for sustainable growth? Map out your next career moves. Identify the skills that make you uniquely valuable. Create a balance between goals and family priorities. Build systems that help you show up authentically. Set goals that leverage what you bring. It's about results, not just resolutions. Hear me? It's about results, not just resolutions. In fact, my friend Mark Friedman, my mentor, in his book, this is the book, Trying Hard is Not Good Enough. He shares his framework, results-based accountability. And it's starting with the end in mind, right? You start with the end in mind. What is the end you are seeking? What is the end you desire? Start with your end in mind, not someone else's version of success. And here's how to make it real. What do you want to have accomplished by December 31st? Sit with yourself, write things out, map things out. Where are you right now in your journey of embracing your difference? What small, brave steps do you need to take to close the gap? So where do you want to be by December 31st? Where are you right now? And what are the steps, small, brave steps, small activities, people you need to talk to help you close that gap? Just like I had to choose authenticity over perfection, you have to choose courage over waiting. Here's what I have learned. That I have learned since that day standing at the door waiting to get into the classroom. That our differences aren't bugs in the system. They are actually features. Your accent tells a story of courage. Your difference tells a story of courage. Your perspective comes from navigating multiple cultures. Your resilience was built through real challenges. These last 91 days aren't about becoming someone else. They are about becoming more fully yourself and letting that be enough. You have what it takes. You have what is in your hand is enough to start. Standing outside that classroom, I had 91 seconds to make a choice. You have 91 days. I could have let fear win. I could have played small. Actually, I could have turned around. I could have apologized for my accent. I could have apologized for my insufficiencies. Try to blend in, but I chose to continue and to finish strong, to show up fully, to let my difference be my advantage. The way you finish this year authentically, courageously, without apology, that's how you will enter 2026. So let me ask you, what will stop you apologizing for before December 31st? What unique strength will you finally start leaning into? Before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me about a time you had to choose between hiding your difference or embracing it. Maybe your first interview, maybe your first presentation. Tell me about a moment when you realized your perspective was actually valuable. Share your story. Someone needs to hear it, that they are not alone in feeling different, feeling afraid, not sure whether they should start or they should continue. Share your story. And if today's video resonated with you, subscribe for more stories. Share this with someone who has been playing it small or afraid to start, who is afraid to lean into their discomfort. And check out our other videos about thriving at work. Check out our videos on emotional intelligence, on office politics, and on using what you have to make a difference. You don't have to be perfect. Your difference is enough. What you have in your hands is enough. And I am cheering you on every step of the way. Thank you.